Hey guys, I finally got around to playing Genotype VR, and here is my first impressions of the game. Genotype is a sci-fi Metroidvania game from Bulwark VR Games that is available on Quest, PSVR2, and Steam VR. In this video, I'll be showing footage from and reviewing the PSVR2 version of the game. You are Everly, a scientist in Antarctica who accidentally stumbles upon the wrong lab where genetic experimentation on an alien fossil has led to the lab being overtaken by an invasive alien ecosystem and infected you with life-threatening parasitic spores that are slowly working their way to your brain. You team up with William, a doctor who was part of the original lab's team, to attempt to collect 9 DNA samples in an attempt to make a virus to wipe out the alien species and kill the spores in your bloodstream. You are armed with genetically engineered 3D printed organisms that you spawn on your gloves, which was the fruit of the research that this lab was working on. As a Metroidvania, this game will involve you exploring the lab's various wings and coming across obstacles that you will need specific tools to overcome, often requiring you to revisit areas of the lab as you acquire new upgrades that allow you to access previously unreachable sections of each area. Overall, the mechanics work very well, but there was a slight learning curve at the beginning, at least for me, so let me show you a few quick tips to get you started. First off, every time I turn the game on, my feet seem to be oriented about 1.5 feet in front of me. This is easily remedied on PSVR2 by pressing the pill-shaped button on the right controller with a stack of 3 horizontal lines, sometimes called the hamburger button or the options button. Each session I do this once on this game, but don't have to do it again, so it is a very mild inconvenience. I don't know why this seems to be an issue only with this game, but it isn't a big deal. You have limited inventory, so only store what you need to store. Medkits, rockets, and anything that has a code on it are the only things worth keeping in your inventory. Genomass, ammo cartridges, tokens, etc. should instantly be placed on the port in your left glove and absorbed. The various PDF-style notes lying around should be dropped. There is no advantage to holding on to them unless they contain passwords or codes. Every weapon organism has 2 attacks. One is activated by pressing the trigger, and the other is activated by pressing the X button on PSVR2 or the A button on Quest systems. The game has a lot of action and a good pace, and some of the puzzles are a little tricky, but none have been frustrating enough that I have lost interest or given up so far. The environment looks good, and the creatures have detailed textures that look decent. The overall aesthetic of the game is solid and consistent, and I have yet to come across any clipping or invisible walls. Everything feels and plays very well. The voice acting is very good and convincing for both of the main characters, and even the characters whose voices I have found on audio logs have been very well done so far. The weapons I have come across have all been significantly different from each other and feel intuitive and work smoothly. I am over 2 hours in and have only found 3 of the 9 DNA samples, so I feel like this game will easily be 6 to 7 hours long for my first playthrough, which seems consistent with what I am seeing quoted online. This game is $27.99 in US dollars, which feels like a fair but odd price. I'm going to try and move away from putting number values on these games, but I will say that Genotype is a worthy purchase, and I feel it will not disappoint anyone who is drawn to it. If you like Metroid, this is probably the closest thing to Metroid that has come out on VR so far. I highly recommend it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and game on.